Hello everyone, and welcome to another live edition of the Powell Press. My name is Bobby Powell Jr., State Senator for Senate District 30, and I'm here to bring you an update of the 2018 legislative session. This is week 7 that we just completed, and this week, just like many of the weeks, has been rather busy. However, this week was more difficult to deal with as we had to deal with the emotions, the heartfelt condolences, and the moments with the students of Marjorie Stoneman Douglas's high school who came up to Tallahassee to let us know what had happened personally to them last week, and also to demand action from us as legislators and policymakers who have the ability to make change with regard to gun safety, regulations, mental health policy, and all those things that would be necessary to make sure that this never happens again. They even came up with a hashtag, never again. So those were some of the things that the students who came to my office and visited with me talked about, as well as a huge rally that was outside of the Capitol this week with a number of students from not only Marjorie Stoneman Douglas's high school, but college students from Florida A&M University, Florida State University, and a number of the surrounding areas. Also, a number of students came to Tallahassee from other areas to participate. There were thousands of people here to show support and show that we are Stoneman strong here in Tallahassee. In legislative news this week, we were able to move several bills further in the process, preparing them for the floor. One of the bills that's prepared to go to the floor this week is the Senate Bill 802, dealing with vote-by-mail ballots. That bill passed through the Rules Committee this week, and what that does is this bill allows for a person to drop off his or her absentee ballot or vote-by-mail ballot to an early voting location in the county of residence that he or she stays in, granting that the supervisor of election allows that in that particular county. That moved through the Rules Committee and is now prepared for the floor. In floor action this week, we had a bill related to the Land Acquisition Trust Fund that went through second reading, and there was no debate on the bill this week, or no questions with regard to what the bill does. Is that in 2015, there was an amendment on the ballot that was overwhelmingly voted for the Land Acquisition Trust Fund to be able to purchase lands in the state of Florida for conservation purposes that would have sunsetted in 2019. This bill eliminates that sunset so that money operates for the Land Acquisition Trust Fund in perpetuity. Also this week, in bill news, through the process, we put an amendment on the Les Pendens bill, and it's now called Judicial Process. That bill went through the Commerce and Tourism Committee, and that was a pretty interesting bill, because what this bill does specifically is it clarifies that a notice of Les Pendens precludes the enforcement of liens or other interests against a property sold at judicial sale until the instrument transferring the title to the property is recorded. In essence, with regard to the judicial process portion of the bill in that chapter, what it does is it allows for a certified process server to serve with respect to the civil process any non-enforceable civil process, and it also allows the process server to serve the spouse of the person being served with a service of process. Another portion of that process server bill that we added was that the attachment of darker screened tinting materials to the windows, the side and back of the vehicle, for the protection of those serving judicial process. Those were the three pieces of legislation that we were able to continue moving through the process this week, and we're getting ready and we're getting closer. Next week is week 8 of the legislative session, and then we'll be finishing up in week 9, completing session on March the 9th. I'm so glad that you had the opportunity to hear some of the things that we're continuing to do here in Tallahassee. Amongst other things, we were able to meet with several constituents from the district to talk about the things that are important and necessary to them. We're still working on the budget process. As you know, we've got a number of issues in the budget that we're working toward. It's an $87.3 billion budget. One of the things that I just want to talk a little bit about is that we do have funding that we primarily put in the budget that's placed there. It's a $250,000 placeholder in our budget right now for a summer youth employment program in Riviera Beach, which is part of my district, that would allow for students during the summertime to have the opportunity to get jobs and gain skill sets by doing work projects related to professional development, and also allow them the opportunity to be off the streets while earning money and learning professional skills that will help them to grow. I'm so glad to bring you week 7 of the Florida Legislative Session 2018, and I'm looking forward to bringing you more information next week. My name is Bobby Powell, Jr., State Senator for District 30.